If you're not 100% confident when you're on the ball, that is a problem because it might actually make you a worse footballer. So in today's video, we're going to try to fix that to make sure the next time you come in possession of the ball or someone passes it to you, well, you don't just feel okay, but you're actually excited because you can do something. Let's go. Well, let's be honest here, guys. If you're not confident or comfortable when you have the ball, that's a problem. And it makes football a little less fun to play. Because if you're not confident on the ball, you'll start overthinking things, second guessing yourself, what am I really doing here? It'll take longer to actually make a decision on the pitch. And finally, it'll also mean that you will play under your potential. It'll make you a worse player than you could be. And that is going to suck. So what I would start with looking at improving is to work on your technique. So your technique here is the baseline for everything you do with your football. And if you can't trust your technique when the going gets rough, that is a bit of a problem because again, you'll start to second guess. You'll take longer to make a decision and you might be swarmed by an opponent. So the first thing I would start in terms of improving your technique is basically juggle a ball. Understand how the ball moves in the air, understand how much weight you need to kick it with in the air. Just be friendly with the ball. And after that, I would work a lot on ball mastery. Basically, a lot of little footwork drills where you try to improve your ball control, your close control, and every little scenario that could come where you need to manipulate the ball quickly and with different parts of your feet. That will help you a lot in match situations, and it'll also just improve that instinct, the way your brain and your feet in unison handle the ball. Now, 7MLC has made a lot of ball mastery drills that you can watch on the channel, but it's just about getting out there, training. And I know it sounds like it's gonna suck, but the good thing is that every time you train this, you're going to feel a little bit more confident. You're going to get better every single time. And what I'm talking about here are little stationary drills where you move the ball around with your feet in different scenarios using different parts of your foot, all while staying on your toes. It could also be that you focus on a little bit more elaborate drills, very specific skills. For instance, the classic cone weave, where you just have a line of cones and you go in and out with both feet practicing cuts and quickly changing direction. And you might ask me, but Jay, will I ever dribble like that in a match? And no, you probably won't. But what this is all about is building muscle memory. You want to build muscle memory with your technique, so when you're in a match and you are in a certain situation, your brain and your feet will automatically, instinctively pull out whichever move is the best for the situation. So that's what it's all about. So just doing Unisport videos, for instance, I've done La Croqueta so many times that I tend to do it a lot in matches without even thinking. And that's where you want to be in order to feel confident, not thinking, just doing. So you can train juggling, you can train your first touch from a rebounder, you can do ball mastery, but you can also do all these dribble courses at different speeds. And again, every time you do them, you might add a percentage or even just a percentile to your confidence, but it helps. But once you've trained your technique enough, what you also need to start doing is to lifting your head up and start looking around. Now, of course, if you're still at the level where you need to put all your brain power on actually keeping the ball when you dribble and you need to look down, then maybe you need to sort out your technique first before you start thinking about looking up. Basically, feel comfortable enough and trust your technique enough, you need to start lifting your head. And I'm not talking about going all giraffe peacock here, just exclusively looking up. That doesn't work. I'm talking about lifting your head up like this. So I can still see the ball in the lower part of my peripheral vision, but more importantly, I can also see what's going on around me, at least in this field of vision, right? So I can see the opponents, but I can also see my teammates. And that means that I have the knowledge of what's going on around me. So if I'm being pressed by a defender, I know if there's space behind the defender that I can take a touch around the defender with, or try at least, and exploit. And if there isn't any space, I most likely also know which of my teammates, at least where they are, but also if they're open to make a pass to. So that means that even if my plan A fails, I have the knowledge that I have another option, a plan B, that I can execute. That gives me the calmness, the confidence that even if the plan A that I try, it doesn't work, there's something to fall back on, right? Lift your head when you're on the ball, but also when you're off it. The more you know, the better you do. But what good is it that you have an immaculate first touch and you have great close control when you're doing cone drills and you can see everything that's going on around you if your brain freezes the second you're being pressed by an opponent and you have to take on a defender and potentially dribble around you? Well, it's not that great. And that is where human interaction comes into play, where you basically need to take a friend or teammate and you go out on the pitch and you basically practice dribbling at each other. You practice pressing, you practice dribbling, basically situations that you could encounter in a match. And that could be the basic drill of your teammate passing you the ball and you dribbling at them, trying to go to either the left or the right and putting the ball into one of two goals. It's very simple, but it's going to put you in situations where you need to make quick decisions and you need to use your technique and your information around you on how to beat the opponent. Will you fail? Well, probably. And most likely, but then you go again, and you go again. And I promise you, all of a sudden, it's gonna click. And my friends, that is how you build confidence, success. So you need to train, you need to trust your technique, you need to know what's going on around you, but you also need that actual practical experience on how to beat a player. So get that. Okay? So in other words, you'll need to improve your technique and your instincts to the point where you know that you can just trust them blindly. Then of course, you'll also need to get better at actually lifting your head up and looking around while you have the ball, but also ideally when you don't have the ball, so you always know what's going on around you. And finally, you need to get a lot of experience in having the ball when there's an opponent around. And I know it might seem like a lot, but if you just practice these things step by step, I promise you that it's gonna come with time. You're gonna feel more comfortable and also confident when you're on the ball. And as a result of that, you're going to be a better football player. So have faith, my friends. But what should we teach you next? Let us know in the comment section right down below. Of course, if you need new football boots, new training apparel, new balls, whatever, we have everything in the link to Unisport right over there. Of course, also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe with the notifications on. And if you just want more tutorials to improve as a football player, there's a wicked playlist right down there. With those words, I'll be signing off. Cheerio, my friends.